I am alive, surprisingly, throughout everything. And it's funny that the last video that we put up there on gross technology is a what? Yeah, none of that happened. It went really bad, actually, for the channel wise. I mean, life is not horrible or anything, but things changed. A lot of things happened. I got a new son. So now I got three kids. We moved. I got a new job. And with that job took a lot of new learning curve because I went from fixing just washers and dryers and ironers and laundry equipment to now with Mr. Appliance, I do everything. Any appliance at residential houses and stuff like that. So it was kind of one of those things where I took a lot of learning curve to, and that took time. And I'm also, oh, this is gonna be fun. Yeah. So hopefully my connection as I'm driving home. I figured, hey, I'm driving home, 45-minute drive. Be a good time to make a video, but I didn't know or really think anybody would care about having to have a edited showing this and showing that, blah blah blah, for basically just coming here and saying what's happened, what's going on, uh, what happened to all the ideas, and why has nothing been? I mean, it's been what, a year, almost a year and a half now since that video came up. Um, so I figured, well, we'll just go live and see what goes on, and just trying to explain and tell you guys what happened. And yeah, so uh, nobody's here because I lost connection because Verizon's great out in the middle of nowhere. But I figured, hey, I got 45-minute drive. We'll go ahead and hit live and just kind of explain what happened. So rewind to that last video where we basically I explained of we were going to be moving, uh, how I wanted to change the direction of the channel to be not so much all about here's this review of this thing, here's this review of this thing, and by all means, I still would like to do that, but it's more of wanting to. Uh, I, just in case anybody says anything, I might be able to, just as a like. I don't want to be that salesperson. I want to be that type of channel where it's just, oh, hey, look at this product and you should buy it or you should not buy it. And while those are helpful and useful and everything, I kind of wanted to um, not be like that. And just what do you want to call it, a product channel, essentially, review product channel. So I was talking about, I've got my own business. We install home theaters, networking. We used to do security cameras. Here in Virginia, you have to have a license to do that, and I had it. And when it came up for renewal, the price of renewal versus what I had made from doing it was not anywhere near what was useful. So I was like, well, forget this. It's not even worth trying to renew and get the, what, 2-3 jobs that I had for that year and didn't make. It's going to cost me $1,500 to renew it. So I was like, yeah, no, that's just not going to happen. So instead, I just let that expire. So we don't do security cameras any longer. So we still do a lot of hang-in TVs. So we moved and had this great 2-car garage, really big. I was like, man, I'm gonna have a nice spot to be able to do a a studio, essentially, like I had, and have tables and stuff like that, and more being able to show how things work, not just, like I said, not just product review stuff. And we got there, and I had redo the entire house. Did the entire floors, redid it, painted the entire house, like fantastic. I love Verizon signal service, fun stuff. But so yeah, so we moved there. I had to basically redo the whole house, which took a lot longer and all that fun stuff. And I was more of those, I got to get out. So I got to get all this done. So the idea of filming any of it kind of just went right out the window. So I wasn't able to film it to be able to show you guys, okay, well, here's a video on how you put in Lutron if you have a neutral at your light switch, or if you don't have a neutral, this is how you would do it. You would use this type of smart switch or this type of dimmer switch. Um, Unfortunately, none of that happened because we had to move. We had to get out of the house, and I had to get finished with the actual other house. So then, once we moved there, the garage had so much stuff from the previous owner. We moved there renting, so not my house. It's just somebody else's house that we were renting. That they bought it and said, hey, um, you want cheap rent? Everything's up to you. They bought it for the property to resell, uh, and yeah, so that's that. So we moved in. Unfortunately, the garage was full of stuff, so never create a space for doing YouTube videos. And I don't know. I share my office. My wife and I share an office. So, and she makes headbands and baby, like little kid stuff, headbands and necklaces and stuff like that. And that being in the background just kind of looks a little odd. As I say that with a service van as I'm driving. Um, as my background, but I just didn't think that looked great, so I just never got into making a space to record YouTube videos. So then let's see, that was January, February, March, April, May. My newest son was born. So 3 kids, they take a lot of time. And so it was, and I started, like I said, this new job 45 minutes away, um, one way. So it takes me 45 minutes to drive there and 45 minutes at least to drive home if I'm not farther away on a service call. So it was, time was just not there. And the space was not there to be able to do some of these videos. And then at the same time, I went an entire year. I think I had one job for my business, and it was nothing um, spectacular to record. I was mounting a TV. Basically, it's a customer I've had before. He basically got a new 85-inch TV and wanted to change the living room TV and move that one to the bedroom, and the bedroom one to go to the guest room. So moving TVs around, not really that enjoyable to watch. So the idea of recording that kind of stuff for a YouTube video, just, I mean, mounting TVs isn't rocket scientist, isn't difficult or something to make a video about. So um, that was it. And honestly, it was kind of one of those things where the company just flatlined. I didn't have jobs to do. I don't know if it was just coronavirus going around and they didn't want people coming in their homes. Um, but we didn't have the jobs. So again, that whole idea of recording actual on-site jobs for real world experience of showing, hey, you want camera system, here's the type of camera systems that are being installed, and this is how they get installed, and why did the customer go with this one, or why did we recommend to go with this one, instead of just here's a camera from is that they sent me and it's really good. And while yes, I like doing product reviews because it's helpful for people to know whether they want to buy them or not, but at the same time, real world helps. Yes, in a great atmosphere of testing, you can do a lot of things. You can test versus other cameras, but in reality, you're not putting three cameras on a board in the same spot to test how they work. And it's more of you want to know how they work in real world situations. So that's why I wanted to do that. But obviously, I wasn't getting the jobs, and it wasn't happening. So that didn't happen. Um, so there was that whole idea of, hey, I'll just make videos out of my business and what we do and what we install and everything, and it just wasn't there. So now what? Uh, then I got a night evening job working remote for tech support for a company from 10 to midnight. Well, that usually is about the time that I would either research or edit or film videos. So that went that. So basically, what I'm saying is, I'm sorry. I wish I would have been able to make videos, and I would like to get back into doing videos, which is why I'm doing this. I don't know if this is something some people may like. Um, like I said, I got 45 minutes to drive home. It's always nice, if you've got questions or, um, I mean, it can be smart home stuff. It can be home automation stuff. It can be product cameras. It could be networking. I mean, if you got questions or anything, I can answer them while I'm driving home. I don't know if live content would be something that somebody would like, or you guys would enjoy watching. But I just thought I'd jump on here and let you guys know what's going on. And like the title said, what happened? I had all this idea and uh, goal, and this is where the direction the channel's going, and we hit a brick wall, essentially. And so I wanted to make a video and just basically say, yeah, we hit a brick wall. I'm still alive. Everybody's still surviving and breathing and everything. Um, and things are getting a little better. I got a job right now putting some choir mics up in a church, and also installing some speakers, running cabling for that and all that stuff. So I might be getting some footage from that to be able to give you guys for that kind of stuff. Um, by the way, any kind of anything in the attic, I don't care if it's in the first, you're at a ranch, or you're on the fourth floor of a vaulted ceiling like this church. Uh, Drywall is not. Uh, it's a false sense of security, really. I hate heights, but I would much rather be in the attic than in a crawl space. So but it's a false sense of security. So, I mean, I can get some footage from that and show you guys uh, good microphones to use in a choir situation at churches, speakers, volume controls, what we were doing with that. How do you run wires? That's a big thing. Like these old churches, like the one that we're doing this at, it's a very old church building. They didn't really think. I don't think most churches ever thought of upgrading wiring or making it easy to run wiring or replacing wiring. Um, so it's been very difficult to get things ran, get things in place, and that's something that you may have in your home or maybe at your church or something where you're like we're running speakers in the foyer underneath the balcony, but the balcony has a concrete floor, so it's not like we can just drop straight down and you got access. It's all drywall. So how do you run the wires to those speakers? And I can show you guys the way I do it, and what we're looking at doing for here. Um, Hopefully the joist, once we cut the hole and find out the joists are running the right way, we can run in that channel. Okay, hey, I thought of inventing something like this a while back, and one of them was dealing with the fact that when you put your phone on a stand in your vehicle, the sun beats down on that thing and it goes really hot. And if you're trying to charge it while you're doing that, just like the iPhone, just now will just shut down and say the temperature is too hot and it's got to cool down before it can come back on. So somebody needs to make like a hood or something you can put around the backside of like a reflector almost. Something or with a fan or something that can cool down your phone so you're not burning your phone up while it's sitting on your dashboard, using it or whatever, or charging it while you're using it. Yeah, that's great. I'm. This has been a great live. So, anyways, as I was saying, crown molding, running wire through that channel, because I mean, you got your wall, you got your crown molding that comes up like this, like this. You got this channel in the middle, so you could pop down behind it, still in the ceiling, and then run it, through that channel of the crown molding. Good place to be able to run wire. It's hidden, you can't see it, and if you got something like a magnet, and you just roll it through and pull the wire through. So that's a idea for anybody. Also, anybody that wants to make that uh, thing for phones to keep them from overheating while they're sitting in the car, and on your mount in your windshield from being baked. Go right ahead. I'll give you my permission. I'm not gonna be able to make it anyway, so I figure somebody else can maybe benefit from it and actually make it, and then I'll buy it, and then we won't have our phones burning and melting down while we're trying to do a live stream. But anyways, let's see. Anything else going on? We're moving again. Like I said before, uh, the guy that we are renting the house from said, "Hey, just to let you know, property was bought to sell, so you can have it for dirt cheap. But just to warn you, if it sells, it sells." Well, we found out it sold, and so we have to get out. And I am done renting. I don't want to rent anymore. This market, though, unfortunately, is not a buyer's market. It is definitely a seller's market. So everything is overpriced and crazy or not even available. But what I want to do is buy a house and then I can have fun and change the lighting system and make it a smart home and not just a temporary renting smart home, but actually a proper home automated system. And when I mean that is we sell and install not Control 4 or any of the other home automation systems. We do RTI. I sell them, I install RTI systems, and it's my favorite out of all the different control systems out there. By far my favorite, and it's by far, in my opinion, the best out there. So I want to put that system in. I want to be able to, I've got a lot of the stuff, just no real want or desire to put it into a rental home that you're going to have to rip out the wiring and stuff anyway. So, just not really something you want to do in a rental. So I'd like to get it in and be able to film that for you guys, and be able to show you guys why I think RTA you have in your home than just a DIY. I mean, yeah, wise in its sphere of all the different products they have and everything is great, cheap, um, but just like we had come out not too long ago, oh, Wise got hacked and didn't tell anybody, and that's a problem. That's not something that should have been brushed off like they did. Um, when they find out about it, that is something that you should be very forward with your customers. And I think, technically, in my opinion, you would gain and keep more customers for your forwardness or your transparency or your whatever you want to call it. So the fact that Wise knew about this, they were working on it, trying to fix it, and they did end up doing the update and getting it all fixed. But the fact that never told anybody until the actual article came out saying it, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, we did have an issue, but it's all fixed." Well, that's great and everything, but you kind of threw us under the bus and hope nobody found out about it. That's an issue. The idea of you've got all these like Ring and all these other camera companies where you have to pay subscriptions, or you trying to deal with like I know Paul loves uh, home, uh, not home advisor. Wow, that's dumb. What is he went from using she that shall not be named Amazon as the ecosphere into being HubSpot. HubSpot? No, it's a software company. Oh, it's a Raspberry Pi system. But he also talks about how difficult, annoyingly difficult it is to get everything to talk to each other. And that's where things like Control 4 or RTI or Savant come in and has that uh, ability to hook all your stuff together uh, and make it all nice and all controllable together instead of having, like if I open up my phone and show you what I have a folder just for smart home stuff. I got 3, 4, 5 pages of apps for Lutron, for let's see, RTI, for let's see, Google Assistant, for Amazon Assistant, for Apple Home TV, for Wise, for EasyViz, for RealLink. I mean, there's so many apps in this thing. Versus what I could do is just install an RTI system or a Control 4 or Savant and just have one system controlling it all in all those different things, all those different brands, and I got one thing, and it's something that I don't have to deal with. I don't have to set it up. I don't have to figure out, well, how does this talk with that? That's the point of your integrator who sells Control 4, sells and installs RTI like we do. Um, we set it up for you and we set it up robustly for you so that you won't have issues and it's custom to you. So you want it to have whatever like style, icons, whatever layout, whatever buttons, icons, backgrounds, whatever you want it to do, that can be all customized for you specifically, and then therefore it allows you to not have to have 50 different apps on your system, on your phone, just to be able to control your lights, your cameras, to see the cameras, automations. It all goes through that home automation system like RTI. Um, so that's one of the things, like I said, I want to be able to get you guys. Um, I know we've been kind of a DIY or hodgepodge of smart home stuff, but I want to kind of funnel it all and show you how it should be in your home. Yes, is RTI a little bit more expensive than a Wise system or a hodgepodge system? Yes, it is. Very much is more expensive, but it's also more robust. It's also all under your control. It's all set up the way you want it to be set up. And then you don't have to deal with the stupid stuff. You don't have to deal with, I mean, you can if you still want Ring to, uh, you want to, pay subscription for them to have video storage up there, that's fine. But if you put in a Ubiquiti camera system, that's local. You don't have, and you can still access it anywhere. You don't have to have it up on the cloud to somebody else's cloud service that you don't have access to other than through your phone. And then when something like this happens, like it did with Wise, have fun. So it's nice to be able to have those DIY options out there. But truthfully, when it comes down to it, in your own home, DIY systems aren't really where it should be. That's not what it's made for. To be honest, DIY systems are more for you rent. You have a little apartment, so you have 2 Wise cameras here, or you have a Ring doorbell, or one, two, three off things. Not when you have Philips Hue or different lighting control and Lutron, and you have Wise for cameras, and you might have EasyViz for cameras, and you might have Ring doorbells or Wise doorbells, and you might have an alarm system, and you have a home theater system. And now all of a sudden, all your stuff is all really independent, and you really want it to all work together and talk together and be able to, in any room, be able to play music here at your living room, or play it through the speakers in the gym or the movie theater room or the kitchen, or anywhere you want it to be. Uh, Trying to set that up through a DIY system is good luck. I mean, it's possible. Not saying it's not possible, but robust wise and the difficult learning curve, uh, that's where RTI and systems like home control 4 and home automation systems come into play. And that's what they're there for. They're there to get not get rid of, but just take it off your plate. You just want to come home and have the stuff work, and not have to figure out and spend hours on, well, why did only one Wise bulb come on at the front door instead of both lights at 5 o'clock when the automation's set for that? Well, you're going through this and this and this and this and this to get to your, you've got it all through Google, or you got it all through Amazon, or you got it all through Apple's system. So get rid of that and just get an actual real system that can robustly make things happen with or without the internet, with or without their cloud service. So, anyways, but yeah, so that's what's happened. We are again moving, trying to find a house. So we're gonna go through this all over again. Yay! Just got done with it. Um, so we are hoping then to be able to get a house that I'm able to have a space, be able to have a spot and everything to be able to record videos, and not only that, but stuff that, yeah. Oh, I totally agree, Kyle. I mean, ubiquity, not just the cameras, uh, uh, networking. There, any of the Dream Machine Pro, the switches, everything's so out of stock, and I don't know, I don't get why they're so out of stock, especially when they just announced the UAPs for version 6 Wi-Fi, and they're gone. I mean, they were gone in like a day, and they haven't been back. So it's almost like, well, it's almost like me making videos. I say I'm going to channel update and say this is all what we're going to do, and then a year and a half later, now I'm doing a live saying, yeah, life happened. And it's almost like that with ubiquity. So I totally agree. Right now, it's one of those things where you're like, hopefully, if you can find a distributor that has some in stock, but straight from ubiquity, yeah, they've got most anything that is newer is all out of stock, and has been for months and months, waiting for who knows what. So, but still, I'd rather have a ubiquity system in my house than any other networking, any other camera system. Um, I wish they wouldn't cost so much, but uh, is what it is. You pay for, just like people that were buying and still do buy Ring doorbell or any Ring camera, and then pay a subscription fee. Yeah, cameras are really not that higher end than what Wise or what a lot of the EasyViz or a lot of these other Rio links. But you're buying a name. Same thing with Ubiquity. You're buying the longevity and the name behind the product, which right now stood its time. But so we're going to be in the house. Hopefully, going to be able to do instant videos. Also, how do you leave a house? You got smart stuff either you're leaving behind or disassembling, then you reinstall it at your new place. Well, the light switch that used to be called to the living room, you get mixed up and now it's in the bedroom. And so now you've got to redo all of that stuff. Is it easier just to reset and start all over, or label everything and make sure it all goes in the right place? Um, so that's kind of what I want to do first, soonest probably video, is how do you, if you're renting a place, how do you leave? Um, I want to get off why stuff. I agree. Yes, I do. I like Wise. Um, I like a lot of stuff they're doing. Gun safe, their air purifier system. But man, when they came out and found with that whole backdoor situation, and were really caught um, not telling anybody about it, I've got a problem with that. I've got a big problem with that, and it kind of, I don't know, the price point is really the only thing going for them. And it's almost one of those things where it's like, well, is it really even worth, um, I don't know. There's just, they've got a lot of stuff, a lot of ecosystem, a lot of, you got an alarm system, you've got cameras, you've got many different types of cameras, indoor, outdoor, uh, PTZ cameras, you've got battery operated, solar power, wired, um, hubs. Then they got the stuff that smart scales. They got gun safes. They got air purifiers. They got wall switches. They got outdoor plugs. They got. I mean, they've grown so much. And when I mean grown, I feel like it's more of they've just put out a bunch of stuff. But I feel like they're the reason exactly. The reason why Wise was created, and the driving force behind and why it became so popular so quick, uh, those reasons, that why, as that book that I've read, understanding your why, I feel like that's going away. I feel like they are very much getting away from what made Wise wise, and instead they're just flushing these things out. And half the time I feel like they get these units and these new products out before it's actually ready to come out. Or the other issue that I have a lot of times is they'll come out with all these new things and new things and new things, but you haven't fixed the first stuff. You haven't gone and addressed the issue that you had originally with the first thing, but you've got 17 new things, so you're not even worried about this one. So it's, I don't know if they call it growing pains. In that book, Understanding Your Why, um, it explained, how Sam Walton with Walmart, when he was there, or when Steve Jobs was at Apple, or the guy that is in charge of Costco, or what is American Airlines or Southwest, one of the two. When the actual owners or founders were there and were in charge of it, the whole company ran on its why. It didn't run on making the dollar. It didn't. I mean, yes. I mean, you're a for-profit company. That's important that you make your, money. If you're not making money, then you're not going to be a business very long. So I get that, but you need to stick to that why, because, I mean, go to Walmart. When Walmart first came out, it was you had people there. You had people that were actually cared about you. Like, went to Best Buy. Not in the last year and a half since the lady took over as the CEO and has totally tanked service side of Best Buy. I mean, it used to be you went to Best Buy. I worked at Best Buy. It was seasonal. way back in high school. Um, but you actually cared about the customer. It wasn't just about selling something like Office Max, which I worked there, where they tried to sell you uh, a protection plan with everything possible. And if you didn't push a protection plan when they bought a stupid pencil or a printer or a backpack, you were that you weren't doing your job. Versus when I went to Best Buy, hey, and the way that I take the whole way I see sales is, hey, I'm here to help you find what you need. If this isn't what you need, then don't buy it. I'm not going to push stuff that I myself wouldn't buy, kind of thing. So it's one of those. Uh, but now you go to Best Buy, they're pushing an appliance side, they're pushing Samsung and LG, which are the two worst company brands for appliances. They make good technology stuff. They make good TVs. They make good Blu-ray players. Their phones are debatable, or they're uh, a lot of other things. But as far as appliance-wise, yeah, they've got the cool bells and whistles, but the actual point of the appliance is garbage. LG's in their class action lawsuit. Why? Not because of the cool fancy features. It's because the coolant leaks out of the system, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of a refrigerator. Samsung uses thinner wires in their heating elements, so they burn out. But it'll text you when it's done. Well, who cares? I want my system to actually work. I want it to last. Uh, and and that's just the technology side getting into appliances. But Best Buy will push these two brands because they are in partnership with them. So of course they're going to push LG and Samsung refrigerators, washers, and dryers, and their stuff because they make more off of them. And the Samsung and LG have a partnership with them. So, of course, they're going to push them. So then when you go and see, well, what kind of fridge should I get? And you look at consumer reports and you look at reviews and stuff. And man, what are the number one and two most popular appliance brands right now? Samsung and LG. What are the two worst appliance brands right now? Samsung and LG. Why? Because you have companies like Best Buy that are going to push those two brands to make a sale, not because they're good, not because it's something that will fit your situation and what you need, but because they can make more of a buck. And so this why does Best Buy exist? And now that Best Buy has destroyed Circuit City, up here in Virginia, you don't have Fry's Electronics. So Best Buy around here really is the only place. I mean, you can get stuff at Lowe's for appliance wise, but electronic wise, Best Buy is where you go unless you go online. Um, and so they've taken that monopoly-ish type of brain and just went, okay, we're just gonna squeeze it. We're gonna squeeze them until I get every drip, every penny from these people, whether I sell them junk or not. They'll still buy it. Well, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of why you are in business. That's so, and that's kind of how I see Wise is getting. They're there to make a buck now. And they want to give you every product, every option, any brain product idea they come up with, which, I mean, that's fine. Innovate and make a system. I don't have a problem with that. But what I have a problem with is you've lost your why. As Wise, uh, with this whole situation of the um, security uh, situation that they had happen, the old Wise, and I say old because they're not even that old, but the old Wise, where version one camera will say at that point, they would have emailed every single one of their customers and said, hey, listen, this is the issue that we're having. We are working on it, but we want to make sure you're aware of this situation. And it might be best to turn your cameras off, unplug them, or change your passwords, or whatever they decided to be the actual fix temporarily to help, but that's what Wise would have done. Wise would not have not told you until somebody else lets it out of the bag, and now you're basically trying to save face, is what I feel like they've done, and that's not what Wise was. And so I have to agree. I like a lot of their stuff, um, but it just seems like it's growing too fast to keep what their point was, why they were around, why did they Wise, what was the point of why Wise was created. But that's, again, my situation, my opinion. Um, so, all right, well, I'm home. So, hope you guys have a great weekend. It's Easter weekend this weekend, so happy Easter. Hope you have a great time. If you like having a ride along live stream, maybe I'll do this twice a week, once a week. I don't know. Every night, every time we're going home. I don't know. We'll see. So, God bless you guys.